So I thought I'd share again, like how journaling scripture really helps to change your beliefs, one belief at a time. So I wrote James chapter 1, verses 22 through 25. So the first part of that verse says, "But be doers of the word and not just hearers of the word only, deceiving yourselves." And that verse translated means don't just listen to God's principles, actually perform them. Otherwise, you're deceiving yourselves. That word deceiving means to judge wrongly or to enchant yourself in a deceptive way. And then he gives us like an analogy of what that means. He says that you're like a man that looks in the mirror and looks at his face, but then walks away, not remembering what kind of man he is. And that basically means that I am judging myself a good person or a person that follows God's divine principles, but my actions, my character, my values, my standards don't actually reflect that. Then James gives us a godly standard to meet as a goal, because he says, "But he who looks into the perfect law of liberty and continues in it is not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work. This one will be blessed in what he does." So translated, that verse is, "But the man that looks carefully into God's perfect law of freedom and remains in it is not a forgetful listener, but a performer in action, and that man will be favored." So sitting in this space, I get to examine my behavior, and I get to see if my behavior actually lines up with godly principles. Does my behavior line up with what I believe about myself? Does my behavior line up with what I want others to believe about me? Does my behavior line up with God's divine principles?